Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the Flamin' Hot Grilled Cheese Burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
How's your day going?
Going good, thank you, yes.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Really, guys?
What? Jackson's always has this game right.
Let's go!
It's the all-wheel drive event at Lithia Ford of Boise. From hunting trips to ski trips to trips to Grandma's house. Nobody does AWD like LFB, Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, and our major sponsors, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, RoadPaint.com, and the Blue and Orange Store. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're proud to stand with Boise State Athletics. Through our NIL marketing partnerships, we're investing in the future of student athletes. Lithia Ford of Boise, here to get you there, wherever that may be. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Good morning from San Jose, California, Bronco Nation. How we doing? BJ Rains with you after last night's 89-58 win for Boise State. We are still in San Jose. We're going to make the trip over to Phoenix today and get ready for Friday night's showdown with Grand Canyon. on Boise State, Grand Canyon Friday night. That's on FS1, I believe, 7 o'clock Mountain Time. But Bronco Nation news on the road this week with the Broncos, and what a start last night here in San Jose. Still at the hotel, going to head to the airport shortly after the show here, but I wanted to jump on and discuss Boise State's 89-58 win. We're going to replay the interview with Leon Rice. Going to hear from Bun Boum as well. Jay Tuss from Bronco Studios also going to join us as we take your comments in the ICCU YouTube chat and your thoughts on a 4-game winning streak for the Broncos. 1-5 at one point in conference play, sitting there and tied for 10th place or whatever it was, and now here they are back to 5-5 and only a game or two out of 4th or 5th place. So they're slowly rising back up the standings, and yeah, they're doing what they need to do, taking advantage of beating some bad teams, but they're beating them in a big way. They've jumped all the way from number 81 to number 54 at KenPom during this 4-game winning streak. They've jumped more than 20 spots in the net rankings as well. And I don't bring that up to say that they're a team that's going to be in the at-large conversation anytime soon, but certainly they're showing their metrics are improving. They're winning these games analytically impressively here these last 4 games. Supposed to win by 9 last night, and they win by 31. I mean, just blowing teams out right now. Looks like a completely different team than we saw 2 weeks ago. And Grand Canyon, I think, is going to see a completely different team than the one that they came into Extra Mile Arena and beat a couple of weeks ago there when Boise State was in the middle of their 4-game losing streak. So we'll look ahead to the Grand Canyon game on Friday. We'll discuss what we saw last night, and as I said, Jay Tuss going to join us. We'll play some of the interviews from last night, and I'm curious on your comments, your thoughts. What's your take on this basketball team? And is it okay? I'm not putting any stock into it because it's 4 teams against, but in the bottom half of the standings. Let's talk after they play a real team like Friday. Or are you in the category of, no, what they're doing is super impressive and you have to take note, and doesn't matter who they're playing. It's super impressive what they're doing. So, again, back to 5-5 in conference now, 13-8 overall, and they've kind of righted the ship after the 4-game losing streak where people wanted Leon Rice fired and wanted changes to the coaching staff. And I'll have to check Bart Torvik, but I think this offense has probably been one of the best offenses in the country the last 2 weeks, scoring nearly 90 points again last night and just dominating in every facet, right now for this basketball team. So we are in the Sun Cruiser studios. Pick up a Sun Cruiser, whether it's the iced tea vodkas, the lemonade vodkas, a lot of different options from Sun Cruiser. The strawberry lemonade is my favorite. And whether it's on the golf course or during a basketball game or just, sitting around the house on a Friday night out by the hot tub or something, Sun Cruiser is the perfect beverage for you. Pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. Ridley's has them, as well as Jackson's, and that's our studio sponsor, Sun Cruiser. And as always, our title sponsor here in 2026 is Lithia Ford of Boise. LithiaFordBoise.com. You can check their full inventory of vehicles, and they got, whether it's a new, a pre-owned, they've got some great deals and options right now. Rain's family purchased our F-150 a couple years ago from Lithia. We are still loving every second of it, and we'll be needing a new vehicle for my wife at some point here as our minivan gets ready to conk out, and we know we'll be going to Lithia Ford of Boise. So view that full inventory online. Do your research ahead of time. Then you go to the lot, test drive a couple vehicles, and you're on your way. That's our friends at Lithia Ford of Boise. We'll be out there next week doing a live broadcast as well. So check out Lithia Ford of Boise online at lithiafordboise.com. D-Ray, watching down in Florida, said went to bed at halftime and woke up this morning feeling great. Yeah, no doubt. Wasn't looking the greatest at halftime. Boise State was only up 36-33. And then the first possession, I think, of the second half, San Jose State hits a three-pointer, and all of a sudden it's 36-36 right out of the gate there. And you're like, oh, man, this is going to be one of those games. Maybe tonight's not the night for Boise State. It wasn't much of a crowd, wasn't much of an atmosphere. And as we talked about all day long and the last couple of days, just the atmosphere can put you to sleep and can lull you to sleep there. And Boise State had some trouble the last couple of years. They won by 2 points there last year. They lost a couple of years ago in overtime here in San Jose. So it hasn't been the easiest of spots for Boise State, and they found a way, and they get the win, and just a dominant second half for Boise State in the second half to just dominate the way that they did and find a way to pull away and win by 31 points. They're up by as many as 33. And again, the contributions you get from the starters, from the bench. I mean, you get your 16-8 from Drew Fielder. You get your 15-5 from Andrew Meadow. Pearson Carmichael with 11. Dylan Andrews, 11 points, 4 assists. But it was some of the other guys. I mean, Bun Boum, we're going to replay the interview that I had with him here in a minute, but he had 11 points in his best game as a Bronco, 3 for 3 from the field, 5 for 8 from the free throw line as well, had a couple of rebounds, a couple assists. Bun Boum is emerging as a legit option off the bench now these last couple of games, and that's been really cool to see. And you get Spencer Aarons in there, and he had 2 points. Ethan Lathan had 2 points again. So Nato 9 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists for him. So you get. They had games earlier this season where the starting point guards, I think, had 1 assist or 2 assists for the whole game. And now you look up and you have a combined 9 assists from Nato and Andrews. Nato had 5, Andrews had 4, 9 assists from your 2-point guards. I mean, it was, after that Grand Canyon game when Leon Rice called out his point guards for getting Andrew Meadow 2 shots and for only having 1 or 2 assists in the game. And now they have 9 assists from your 2-point guards. So the offense is just looking so much better. The Broncos are improving in so many different ways. And it's been impressive to see here and really a remarkable turnaround. I mean, I don't know what flipped the switch, but I mean, Boise State's offense was 123rd, I think, at KenPom going into that Colorado State game. And you look up now and it's 82nd. Boise State's offense has improved over 40 spots at KenPom in the last 4 games. They're attacking the paint. Their ball movement has been great, and they've scored, at least 79 points in each of the last 4 games. They scored 58 to Grand Canyon. They scored 68 to Utah State, 66 to Nevada, only 62 against New Mexico and in recent games. And then you look at 79 against Colorado State, 81 against Wyoming, 96 against Air Force, now 89 against San Jose State. And like I said, I understand you're playing the bottom half of the league. As Kurt said, it's the schedule. They should be winning. Kurt, yes, but they're not supposed to be winning by 30. They were supposed to win by 9 last night. They are doing more than they're supposed to do. So you can just look at the win and say they're only winning because of the schedule, sure. But if you look at how they're playing and what they're doing analytically, it's been really, really impressive here. And yeah, Friday will be the test. But again, they're on the road and they're supposed to lose. So if they lose the game, it's not, oh my gosh, they're a terrible team like we thought. They only beat up on the bad teams. No, they're playing in one of the most hostile environments in college basketball, and they were an underdog and supposed to lose, and they did. But if they can find a way to win that game, and maybe you're catching Grand Canyon at the right time. As Brian says, they let one get away last night, fouled on a 3 at the buzzer, lost in overtime. They'll probably be fired up. Or it goes the other way. Look at how Boise State played again after losing a heartbreaker in triple overtime against San Diego State. They thought they should have won that game. They did not play good, and they let that affect them in the next game against Grand Canyon. So maybe the roles are reversed here in Grand Canyon. I mean, Boise State got to Phoenix before Grand Canyon did last night. So they're going to be a rested team and have 2 good days of practice and be ready to go. And so I think that there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic about Boise State. And if they are able to find a way to win that game, then you come home against Nevada. I know Nevada's playing well right now, but it's at home. It's a winnable game. It's a whiteout, I think, next Tuesday. I think it's a 7:00 game. So if they're on a 5-game winning streak, you would hope that would be a huge crowd next week. So I know we're not talking at-large bids. We're not going to get anything crazy here. But like I said, the numbers are improving. The analytics are improving. That shows that this team is playing better. And that's all you really wanted to see. You wanted to try to put yourself, if you're Boise State, put yourself in position to be a top 4 seed or at least get to that 5 seed, which I've said I think would actually be a nice spot. I think the 5 seed is actually a really nice spot because you get to beat up on Air Force, get some confidence, and then get some bench guys some work, and then go to town on Thursday in the quarterfinals against the 4 seed, who could be a New Mexico, could be a Nevada in that first game. And I think even playing the day before might actually be a benefit in a game like that. So we'll see how it all shakes out. A lot of games still to be played, but right now you have to be, encouraged at least. Maybe you're not impressed. Maybe you want to see more. I get it, but you have to at least be encouraged with what you're seeing. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. Yes, but I think they did more. They beat these teams by 30-plus points and dominated the metrics. And again, 81-54 at KenPom at this point in the season, that's really, really impressive. And you go into that San Diego State game, I think they were 53rd, it looks like, or 52nd. So they went into the San Diego State game at 52, and you look up 8 games later, and they're right back at 54. So they overcame those 4 losses with these 4 wins and kind of have the metrics kind of balance back out. And so it's been pretty impressive. The offense looking much better for sure. Yeah, they've improved 40-plus spots with the offensive numbers. They've been really impressive with what they've they've done. Bob, appreciate what you for watching. They took care of business, love picking up full court, slows other teams down, offense down, did a great job on the assist, especially in the second half. Yeah, when you've got NATO and some of these guys you can throw out there defensively, Bun Boum with his long arms and things. I mean, they can really do some things defensively, and when they pick up full court, it does slow down the offenses a little bit. And both sides of the ball have been pretty impressive here of late, and it's a 4-game winning streak. And as I said, they chartered straight over to Phoenix, and they got a good night's sleep in Phoenix last night. And I will be heading over to Phoenix here a little bit later this morning to join the Broncos. We are on hotel Wi-Fi, so you never know what you're going to get on hotel Wi-Fi. I hope that it is sounding okay, looking okay, and I was going to try to play this Bun Boum interview, but of course it says it's having trouble sharing the video at this point. So we'll see if that what happens here with that in a second. I'll try to get that loaded. It is never works as it's supposed to on live shows here sometimes. And as I said, hotel Wi-Fi, you never know what you're dealing with. Shout out to the San Jose State media relations staff last night. They were super impressive, super helpful, and really appreciate San Jose State and their media relations department. They were a huge help, and they had Ethernet for us. They had power for us. They had water for us. It was super impressive, and very thankful for San Jose State's media relations staff. I know that stuff all goes unseen for you guys, but having a little Ethernet hookup right there on a courtside is a very big deal, and was very appreciative that they were able to do that and have that for us. And so we appreciate them, and going to miss coming here. Last time here, won't be coming for a while, but it was a nice trip, and certainly for the Broncos. I think I saw Leon Rice. I was looking at some of the numbers here. He finishes 23-2, and I shouldn't say finishes. They could play in the conference tournament, and who knows when they're going to play. But right now, the last scheduled meeting, Leon Rice 23-2 against San Jose State. Boise State now 43-4 all time against San Jose State. They have dominated the series, and third time this season they've now won 4 games in a row, but they've never won 5. So they'll look for their first 5-game winning streak of the season on Friday night. It was their 7th double-digit win of the year, and they've won these last 3 games, guys, by an average of 29.7 points. So they are just, blowing teams out, and now held another team to 60 or fewer. That's 2 games in a row. 5th time they've done that. They're 5-0 when they hold their opponent below 60 points. It was their second best field goal percentage of the season as well. They shot 58.9%, and that's 53 points in the second half. 4th time they've scored at least 50 points in a half this season. And the bench, we talked about the bench, 97 points, I believe it is, the last 2 games from the bench. 56 against Air Force, 41 against San Jose State, 97 points. And how about Bun Boum, 3 for 3 from the field, had career high with his 11 points, his field goals made. And he continues to earn some of these minutes the last couple of games. And Melinda said the bench players played great. Yes, they did. Appreciate you for watching, Melinda. And one of those was Bun Boum. We had a chance to catch up with him on the post-game show. Congratulations, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Now a little closer there. There we go. 11 points tonight, man. You guys win by 31. Tell us how that felt.
It felt great. I felt like we prepared for this, and we locked in, and we took our moments and took advantage of it.
How long you been waiting for an opportunity these last couple games like this to get out there and show what you can do?
Feel like I've been waiting my whole life. Came in confident.
What'd you do to work yourself into position? You weren't playing a lot probably early in the season. It had to be a little disappointing. How'd you keep working, and what have you done to show the coaches you deserve these minutes?
Each day I just come into practice confident, ready, work hard, play my hardest, and the coaches just gave me a chance, told me to be ready, and I came ready.
When you found that out that you're going to get the chance and getting in there and getting some minutes these last couple games, how's that? What's that been like, and how have you tried to just kind of settle down, let the game come to you, and make some plays out there?
Just shout out to my teammates. They found me out there, helped me play confident, helped me play slow, and I just made the right reads out there and just played with fun.
Haven't really talked to you much, man. What led you to Boise State? What was your journey like?
The coaches. I like the culture. I love it, and I really feel like that they can help me get better and better so I can reach my potential.
Do you feel like you're kind of scratching the surface here? I mean, every day, do you get a little more comfortable, a little more confident here?
Each day, 1% better, I feel like.
Yeah. What do you bring to the table here? I mean, we see what you're doing out there. You're obviously super athletic, but what do you see as kind of your role, what you can bring to this team?
Energy and defense. I feel like that's my main position I'm in right now, and just to prove it out there and just do it every day.
I know it's fun winning and stuff, but when the team wins and you're out there scoring and contributing, how much more nice does it make it for you?
Man, makes you smile. I love it so much. Love Boise.
What in terms of your game? I mentioned we've seen you drive. You've hit some threes. You're obviously athletic. I mean, what in terms of your offensive game? How do you kind of describe yourself as a player?
I think I'm a 3-level scorer, and I feel like I can jump and rebound.
And about this team, man, a couple weeks ago, it was kind of a dark time for you guys, losing 4 in a row. Now you've won 4 in a row. What do you think's been the difference?
I feel like we've been doing the same thing we've been doing all year, just practicing hard and keeping our composure. And I feel like we had a little losing streak, but now it feels good to pick it back up and show people who we really are.
How offensively, the ball movement, I mean, just seems like it's a totally different team offensively here.
I feel like we're the same team, just making more shots and just more confidence.
So how exciting does this make it for you? You get to you get some playing time, you're winning. I assume for you, man, just waking up the next day, going to practice the next day, it's an exciting feeling for you.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. Just got to keep going, get better each day. And now we have a big game against GCU coming up.
What do you think about that one, man? As a freshman, man, you're experiencing all this for the first time, and they got quite the student section there. I mean, it's going to be a little different environment than tonight.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a good game. They beat us at home, and we're going to come back hungry.
Well, congratulations, man. Awesome job. Great to meet you, man. 11 points. Keep it rolling, and we'll see you Friday in Grand Canyon, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
There he is, man. Appreciate Bun Boum for joining us here. There he is, Bun Boum. Appreciate him for joining us. First chance that I had to chat with him, and really enjoyed him coming on. Cool story. He obviously comes in late in the process, and I know they were super fired up when they got him signed, and everybody wants to talk about Ahrens and NATO, but I think that they really liked what they saw in him and think that he has a chance. You know, somebody told me when he signed, one of the coaches said they compared him to Derek Alston Jr., but they said he was further along when he's getting here. He's already further along than Derek Alston Jr. So you think about the athleticism, Derek Alston Jr., what he can do. Now, Bun is a lefty, Alston's a righty, so they're not, perfect comparisons. But, he's a guy that's getting some confidence coming into his own and looks like he could be a player here moving forward. I mean, if you can keep NATO and Ahrens and Bun, and I mean, I know we're not looking into next year, but Dylan Andrews is the only player in Pearland are the players of significance that you lose. I mean, Pearson Carmichael scheduled to come back. Andrew Meadow scheduled to come back. Drew Fielder has another year. Keene has another year, and NATO and Ahrens. And, I mean, if they can keep this thing together, there could be a lot of familiar faces next year and a lot of reasons for some optimism going into next season, especially if they can piece some of these, guys that are leaving together with some replacements and another class. I mean, it's, Josh says, can we talk about this freshman class? I mean, yeah, you look at what they have with NATO and Ahrens and Bun. They look like they certainly have the potential here to have a nice nucleus moving forward. And like I said, most of the other guys are coming back as well. They have Meadow coming back for another year, and Fielder and Julian Bowie. Don't forget about him coming back as well. Yeah, I mean, they're going to have a really nice team next year, and we'll see. Like I said, you lose Pearland and you lose Dylan Andrews, but if you can replace those guys with some capable guys, and you're probably replacing them with bench guys because your starters are probably already on the roster. So I think Bond could play a RJ Keene role, but more willing to score. Yeah, I see that. Such a good young core. Yeah, a lot of again in the transfer portal era, the NIL era. You never know, but for the most part, knock on wood, Boise State basketball has shown a pretty good ability to retain talent. They kept Meadow, they kept Keene, they kept Carmichael last year. And so if they can keep all these guys again, I think they're looking like next year could be a pretty good season. Yes, Drew Fielder has one more season, and there's some reports out there that he signed a 2-year deal. I don't know if that's actually the case, and nowadays you can get out of stuff pretty easily, but Drew Fielder, yes, does have another year, and I can't imagine he would come back home in that storyline and then leave before his senior year again. So I would suspect he'll be back. But yes, Drew Fielder does have another year of eligibility. I mentioned Jay Tuss is going to join us here in a little bit. I want to hear a little bit from Leon Rice as well, but do want to thank a couple of our sponsors, Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. They are a road trip sponsor for us. Cover our road trip and help with our expenses on the road. So Idaho Central Credit Union online, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile e-branch online banking right there in your smartphone. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Hey, 75-cent fountain drink from Jackson's tomorrow. The Broncos got 75 last night, so tomorrow you can get a 75-cent fountain drink using your Let's Go Rewards app from our friends at Jackson's. Anytime the Broncos get 75, you get a 75-cent fountain drink 2 days later, so that'll be tomorrow from our friends at Jackson's. Hey, TacoBellWorks.com, breakfast quesadillas. My kids off school today for some teacher thing, so they were on their way to get some Taco Bell breakfast this morning when I talked to my wife a few minutes ago. So TacoBellWorks.com, the SOM Management Group, the Nicolason family, they've got those crispy chicken strips. Love the Cantina Bowl as well and all the various options there. The good old cheesy roll-ups are my kids' favorites, believe it or not. But Taco Bell, visit a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location today. And the Blue and Orange Store online, theblueandorangestore.com. You can get your official Boise State gear, talking jerseys, bumper stickers, car flags. I mean, literally logo golf balls, anything you want. They got you covered, and that is at the Blue and Orange Store online anywhere in the world, theblueandorangestore.com. You can also go to either of their locations. That new location there at the Boise Town Square Mall has your customized jerseys and all the various options there as well. So the official in-venue provider, the best selection, the best prices. Check out the Blue and Orange Store online at theblueandorangestore.com. I mentioned our title sponsor is Lithia Ford of Boise, online, lithiafordboise.com. Lithia Ford of Boise, online at lithiafordboise.com. You can check their full inventory of vehicles, and never a better time for a new or pre-owned car or truck with that ice and snow coming in the next month or two. I'm sure we're going to get hit here in the winter at some point. Make sure you have a nice four-wheel drive vehicle like a truck from Lithia Ford of Boise. And, of course, Sun Cruiser, our studio sponsor, Sun Cruiser. We appreciate them, the Sun Cruiser Studios here in San Jose. And whether it's the iced tea vodkas, whether it's the lemonade vodkas, they got you covered. Sun Cruiser, crack open a Sun Cruiser today and let the good times cruise. Again, Boise State wins last night. Final score was 89-58. And I wanted to hear one Leon Rice bite on Bun Boum. It's still loading into the system, so we'll go ahead while it's loading up and bring in our man Jay Tust, Bronco Studios. And hopefully you checked out Monday's show. Had Brendan Ramirez on. Had a great show on Monday. You can check that on the YouTube channel there, Boise State Athletics. He'll be live today, I assume, at 4 o'clock, recapping last night's game. There's a women's game, I believe, coming up that I'm sure he'll preview. So, Jay, always appreciate you. Kind of a weird week with travel and everything, but making a few minutes here on a Wednesday. And I hear it's snowing back in Boise, so the roads and things are an issue, but we appreciate you jumping on. How we doing?
Yeah, it took me a little longer to get to work than normal today. I will say this, in case you were questioning me, I did send you a picture that there was an accident on the freeway, so hopefully everybody's okay. There wasn't a ton of snow, but it was just a little slick this morning. Either way, I'm here safe and sound. The daughter's at school, and so we successfully navigated the morning, but a very convenient time for you to go to California and Phoenix, BJ.
Well, don't say that. Today's my wife's birthday, and I'm missing that today. So happy birthday
to Karen.
Happy
this
birthday
show is dedicated to
yes.
the MVP of the Reigns family.
No doubt. And the kids are off school today. I don't know, something with West Ada School District have some scheduled off day today. So she's off today. They're off today, and they're going to Joe Mama's, I think, for breakfast at some point, and Taco Bell for lunch, or vice versa. I know they were going to go and hit up some spots and have a fun day today. Not quite enough snow for sledding, it sounds like, but they're having a day off. And yeah, happy birthday to my wife Karen, and we'll be back here in a couple of days. We already had the birthday dinner last weekend, kind of planned ahead, so we've been celebrating it already, and appreciate her as Jay would attest and agree with. At least in our industry, our wives certainly are doing a lot behind the scenes to allow for these trips and things to happen, and so very thankful and appreciative to my wife, and happy birthday, and be home in a couple of days. But Jay, I'm sure you had kids on your lap. You're playing with games and stuff last night, but I know you had a chance to check out the game against San Jose State, and somebody said they turned it off at halftime and went to bed and woke up and were pleasantly surprised. Now, that gentleman lives in Florida, so it was late. I give him credit. I don't think he turned it off in disgust or anything. We appreciate D-Ray for watching. But one of the more impressive halves of the season there in the second half, 53 points. They pull away. They win by 31. That's a 27-spot jump at the KenPom rankings since this 4-game winning streak started. I know they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're beating bad teams, but really they're doing more than they're supposed to do. They're supposed to win by 9 last night. They win by 31. It's been pretty impressive. The offense has improved 40-plus spots at KenPom as well. They're up into the 80s now in the offensive efficiency. So I guess the Sadie Hawkins for you. You can take it any direction you want, but 89-58, another impressive win, and that's 4 in a row.
I mean, no, you're right there. This was the portion of the schedule where we knew that the Broncos had to get right. And I feel like that's exactly what they've done and then some. And like you said, they're doing more than what probably is expected of them. Yes, they were expected to come and win these games by a comfortable margin, but they're doing it in a fashion where they are now climbing up both Ken Palm and the net. And I mean, if we're being honest with each other, I don't know if it really matters unless they win out and maybe lose in the Mountain West Conference Championship tournament game, because all that stuff really only applies to an at-large bid.
Yeah, and I said, I'll cut you off real quick, Jay. I did say that, yes, we're not planning a parade down Capitol, that it's not going to matter, but I do think it shows if you can improve 27 spots at Ken Palm in a 12-day span, that analytically they are playing much, much better than they have. And so I think those numbers still matter, the net rankings, to show the improvement they've made the last 2 weeks, although, yes, it doesn't matter for the at-large, but certainly it matters to show that not only are they just beating teams on their schedule, they are beating them analytically pleasing, I guess you could say, and looking good doing it.
Yeah, and I know that you brought it up too, but I mean, I think BJ at one point in time, they were 123 in offensive efficiency in Ken Palm. And now they're all the way up to, that their offensive rating is all the way up to 82nd in the country. And is 82nd great? No, it's not great. But when you consider that, 2 weeks ago they were 123, it's a massive swing in the right direction. And, I think that there are things that are you can be encouraged about even within that, because you look at last game, right, against Air Force, had one of their best assist games of the season. I believe they had 18. And they follow that up with 23 assists last night against San Jose State, a season high. They had 23 assists on 33 field goals made. You look at it, Dylan Andrews, 4 assists. RJ Keene, 4 assists. AG NATO, 5 assists off the bench. Even Drew Fielder chipped in with 3 assists, which is now kind of his normal stat line, it feels like. It feels like Drew is good for like 15, 9, and 3 every night. And last night he had 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. He also threw a block in there. And so, it's a team that's playing a lot better at this point in time. We also talked earlier, BJ, about how, maybe some of the stuff at the rim, they weren't it came to layups at times. They weren't even shooting that good of a percentage on. And, last night, 7 for 7 on dunks and 18 of 29 on layups. And I don't know how often we pay attention to those stats, but if you can make layups, you're going to be a better basketball team. And so far these last few games, Boise State has been a better basketball team in those regards. And, I just think that they're pushing in a good direction. And I don't think, 2 weeks ago, I don't know if you could have asked for them to be in a better spot, meaning they're on a 4-game winning streak. They've absolutely pummeled some teams. In each of their last 3 wins, they've had like a crazy in-game run. What was 23-4 at Wyoming.
They had 18-0 in both the Wyoming and the Air Force games. 18-0 if you want to go there.
Air Force, 18-0 runs in between those or in those runs. 27-11 last night. So they played some pretty dominant basketball. And now you feel like, all right, we feel like we're pretty good. We're confident. You have other guys that, might have been stuck in the valley too that are playing better. I think AG NATO has been great over these last couple of games, and I don't even want to make it sound like we should be critical of him. He is a true freshman. He is playing outstanding. I think that, he had a little bit of a freshman wall, and now you're seeing him play some really good minutes off the bench once again, and that kid excites me because I think he's just going to be an incredible player down the line. He's so important to the present, but I think he is going to be a culture program builder, a guy that, you build this thing around moving forward. But even like Pearson Carmichael has made a couple shots over these last 2 games. Obviously Spencer Aaron's quiet last night, but big game the day before or the game before against Air Force. So it just feels like everybody's finding their confidence, and now it all leads to a road game at Grand Canyon. And I know we're going to be on the same wavelength here, BJ. This is the one, right? Like this is the one. If you go down, you compete, and you win, I really think you start to think about the rest of the season just a little differently. But it's not going to be easy.
No doubt. And a couple points he made I wanted to follow up on there, Jay. One of which, while you were talking, I went and looked at the Bart Torvik rankings. The nice thing about Bart Torvik is you can I guess, spread the data out and you can pick time frames. Ken Pom gives you the full season. Bart Torvik, you can go look at certain segments. And I went back to the start of Boise State's 4-game winning streak, January 16th, I believe it was. Boise State's 4-0 during that stretch, but they have the number 24 ranked offense in America during that stretch right now. So the last 2 weeks, Boise State's offense has been a top 25 offense, and overall, Boise State 22nd in America. They're a top 25 team the last 2 weeks with how they've played. So they have played very impressive. And like I said, we get it. I understand people in the chat are saying, hey, it's the 4 teams in the bottom half of the standings. Yes, it is. But again, last night you were supposed to win by 9. You win by 31. You were supposed to lose at Wyoming. Ken Pom had Wyoming as a 2-point favorite. And you go, so actually you're doing more than you were supposed to do. You were supposed to lose that game according to the metrics, and you win by, I think, 17 or 16 or whatever it was in that game. So it has been super impressive. And I know nobody wants to look at next year, Jay, but I already mentioned this before you came on. But you look at potentially, and I know transfer portal, all that stuff. You never know in the NIL era, and these guys are going to want raises and whatever. But you look at, on paper right now, the only guys that of significance that you lose are Dylan Andrews and your backup big guy, Dom Parolin. I mean, you get Drew Fielder back, you get Meadow back, you get Carmichael back, you get Keene back, you get Bowie coming back, and then you throw in, some of these other guys and these freshmen with NATO and with Aarons and now with Bun Boum and what he is doing. And then you give this team a couple of roster spots for another transfer portal guy or a freshman, and I'm sure I missed somebody else that I forgot, in that group.
JB.
But you do lose Javen Buchanan. That is a big one. I forgot to mention him, and that certainly is a huge loss. But so that takes my point away a little bit. But a lot of young talent returning,
valid because
these 3 freshmen and everybody they have coming back. I mean, there's again a lot of games still left to play this year.
Yeah, your point is it's not like they're losing their entire starting lineup, and that's
And NATO and Aarons and Bun Boum, like the 3 of those guys as freshmen, if you can, I mean, fast forward like to their junior year or something. I mean, next year they should all be solid, but you give them another year or 2 and they stay. And I mean, this is a nice young core here, and having Meadow and Fielder back is huge. And I mentioned Keene. I mean, there's, again, a lot of games left to play this year, but there is some optimism that there should be a reason for excitement. Somebody said, are we the Dallas Cowboys now? We're always looking forward to next year as our year. I get the sentiment. I do. But, I mean, at this point, when you were 1-5 in league, I mean, what else did you have to look forward to at this point? It is what it is. But back to 5-5. And as you said, with the point guards, Jay, I mean, it was the Grand Canyon game last time when the point guards were getting blasted by Leon Rice after the game against Grand Canyon for their play, and it was not particularly strong. I think they had 1 or 2 combined assists in that game. They did have a couple turnovers last night, but 9 assists combined, 23 for the team, but 9 assists from NATO and from Andrews last night. So the ball movement has definitely picked up. The ball's not sticking, and that's been one of the big changes that's paid off here these last 4 games.
Yeah, the Broncos are plus 23 when AG was on the floor. He's scored a little bit more efficiently over these last couple of games, and I think you're right about the young core here. I think there's a lot to be excited about moving forward, and hopefully that there's enough in the present where they can make a run at this thing. Because the reality of the situation is that, yeah, you're right. They started 1-5 in league play, and they've probably lost too many games at this point to, feel confident about a potential at-large bid come Selection Sunday, especially with some of the losses that they've had. Like,
they win every game the rest of the season, they could probably get one.
What was that?
If they win every game they have left, they could probably get one.
If they win every game left and they lose a close one in the Mountain West Tournament Championship, I still think at that point in time, you only have 9 conference losses, or 9 overall losses. You'd be one of the hottest teams in America, because that means you put together like a 15 or some odd game.
Yeah, and you'd be winning at Utah State, at New Mexico. Like, so we're just kind of having fun with it. It's not going to happen. But theoretically, yes, they could win out and probably get one.
Yeah. That being said, we've seen this team play. When this team clicks, I still believe they could beat anybody in the Mountain West. I do. And there's other teams. I mean, we've even seen it a little bit with Utah State lately, where they came up here and they blasted a Boise State team that didn't have much confidence. I would say that was the low point of the season. Utah State was in first place at the time, but that was probably the low point of the season. And even since then, we've seen Utah State, battle their own quote unquote valley themselves. And so, other teams still have to, finish this thing out. And the one thing I'll say is, I think that anybody that cheers for is associated with Bronco basketball would probably take this. Historically, and we talked about this, Boise State has been really good in the month of January, like an 850 or 900 winning percentage over these last 4 or 5 years under Leon Rice in the month of January. And then February is kind of where, I don't know whether it's the minutes that stack up, the scheduling break, I don't know what it is. But usually it's not, they still win a lot of games, don't get me wrong here, but it's not at that clip. And so if you could flip those months, I don't see any problem with that in terms of your momentum going to the NCAA tournament. If all of a sudden you really start to hit your stride in early to mid-February and you ride this thing out with confidence, that might be the way to finish this thing off, in terms of, trying to chase a little bit of school history in an NCAA tournament win. But I whatever, call me foolish. I don't really care. I still have seen this team and what they can be when they're playing really good basketball. And I still think that they got a shot at the end of the day if they can really just continue to put the pieces together and ride this thing out.
Well, you're only 2 games out of 4th place now in the standings as well. And last night,
and that's why Grand Canyon's such a big game.
Yeah, and Nevada losing last time, that was a crazy game going over. If Nevada had lost, that would have given them 4 conference losses, and you play them next week. You could have easily passed them. Grand Canyon losing still helps because that drops them to 3 conference losses, and you obviously play them on Friday. But UNLV, they're kind of fading at this point. They're 5-4. That was a game Boise State probably should have won. If they had Javen Buchanan, they probably win that game. But UNLV coming back to Boise, I feel like that's a game they can win. And then Nevada, they're ahead of you in the standings. They come to Boise still, and then you play at Grand Canyon. But you still get San Diego State at home. They are going to, the next 3 road games, Jay. This season is really weird how the pockets have been. You have an easy stretch, a hard stretch, an easy stretch, a hard stretch. And their next 3 road games are 3 of the toughest venues, on west of the Mississippi, really, when you talk about playing at Grand Canyon Friday, at New Mexico next Saturday, and then at Utah State the following week. It's going to be a super tough stretch here of road games. But as I said, you get Nevada, UNLV at home. Those are winnable games. I still think there's nothing wrong with the 5 seed this year. With this depth of this team, I think if you could get the 5 seed, you have a lot of depth. You get to play like a practice game against Air Force in your first game. You get some how many times have we seen the Boise State have the bye? The other team plays the first game, gets some confidence, comes in, and they upset them in the first game. Maybe Boise State gets some confidence, plays that first game as the 5 seed, and is able to use your depth and your bench, and maybe that But I know ultimately, yes, you'd rather play 3 games in 3 days, so you want to get to the 4 seed. But for me, if you could just get to 5, I'll say that's good enough, considering where you were at 1-5 in conference play, 12 days ago or 13 days ago. So I think the 5 seed is certainly attainable at this spot when you're sitting there at 5-5, and the 5 seed is 3 losses right now, and then UNLV has 4, and so. Boise State right now in sole possession of, 7th place right now. They would play Fresno State in the first game if the conference tournament started today, and then they would play New Mexico in the quarterfinals if they were to win that game. So don't love that.
It's like the worst path in the world still. But I think you even look. Even getting to the 6, you'd probably play the team that you just blasted last night. But I agree with you. The 5 would be not preferred over the 4.
Sure.
But if you look at a lot of the starters for Boise State against Air Force played 18 to 23.
Same as last night. Yeah.
And so if that's the case, they probably have practices that are harder than that. I'm not trying to offend anything or anyone, but they probably do.
Yeah.
And so if you get on the court, get some guys confidence, get some of the bench guys in the game that once you do get to that final day, you might need a little bit of run out of them, then maybe that helps them. But more than anything, you bring up Grand Canyon, you look at where they're at in the rankings, and now you got to start to consider coming back around. This is almost like a 2-game swing for Boise State on Friday, because you either split the season series or you lose the tiebreaker to Grand Canyon. Coming back to Nevada, you either split the season series or you lose that tiebreaker. And if you start to lose those tiebreakers, it's going to be really, really hard to get that 4, maybe even 5.
Those are two teams that could be right there with you in the standings.
Yeah, so it's going to be really hard to get that 4 or 5 if you drop those, either or both of those games. And that's why they're, these ones coming back are more important or so important. And it's also just a fresh reminder there's just a lot of basketball still ahead of this team.
And by the way, I did see the Tuesday night game, not looking ahead, but the Tuesday night game against Nevada, Boise State has announced that'll be a whiteout for that game. So wear white for the game against Nevada. And I tell you what, Jay, if they find a way to win on Friday and they're on a 5-game winning streak and you get a 7:00 game next Tuesday, I mean, you would really hope that would be
against kind of a perceived rival, I would say, even in Nevada. There's been a lot of good games between Boise State and Nevada over the years. I mean, you're right. That should be a night that you start to feel the juice of Extra Mile Arena. You'd be on a 5-game heater coming off a big road win. You're putting yourself back in the Mountain West race. I'm not going to go as far as say as a title race because that still is that's a long ways out. But you put yourself back in the race and against a good Nevada team, that you feel like that extra mile should start to feel the energy at that point in time.
By the way, I know people got upset like a year or two ago and when UCF came to town and late in the game, Boise State played whatever song is like UCF's perceived like song or whatever, and it fired them up for their last drive. Last night, Jay, they played X Gonna Give It To You at San Jose State, and Alex, the great video guy that works with you and the creative services team. He kind of looked over at me and goes, "They're playing our song," and then sure enough, Boise State went on a nice run there. So maybe they can thank the DJ there at San Jose State for playing that game. And shout out Jeremiah Dickey. He is in the Bay Area for some Pac-12 meetings today. Flew in last night in time, changed his flight to make it over to the game last night. And I don't know. They usually say no cheering on press row, Jay, but because there was a sold out crowd, he had nowhere to sit last night. He showed up late. He decided to sit next to me on press row for a good chunk of the game. And I tell you what, man, seeing him even in a 20-point game, getting on the refs and getting into the game, his passion is unmatched. And there was one point where there was a call and he didn't agree with it. And like I said, it was pretty quiet in the arena. So if you spoke up, there was a lot of folks that could hear you. And he yells "weak" really loud at the official, and like the whole bench and everybody's kind of looking over, and I'm like, it wasn't me, it was him. And the referee and everybody was looking, and it was cool to see Jeremiah. I think Leon said probably his first AD that's ever seen a road game at San Jose State, and I guess for the last one, you wanted to commemorate it and see it, but the schedule worked out, and those as a final thing for you, I guess those Pac-12 meetings today and tomorrow should be big as we try to find out some of the football schedule and a lot of the different things that they have to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, so it feels like we're getting somewhere with that too, right, BJ? Like we're going to start to figure out what 2026 looks like on the gridiron here pretty quick, and there's definitely some questions that are lingering right now. We want the loose ends tied, if you will. What's that final week of the regular season look like? Where's the conference championship game going to be played? Are there any other unique scheduling opportunities or anything like that? So we finally are going to start to get some answers here pretty soon, which is exciting.
Real quick, 3-0, 0-3, 2-1, or 1-2 in the next 3 games. You're at Grand Canyon, home to Nevada, at New Mexico. Can you? I mean, I think Boise State would take 2-1 right now. I think they would just not even play the games. If you're guaranteed a win at either Grand Canyon or New Mexico, you would take that right now. I mean, on paper, you'd say 1-2 would be what the metrics would say. But I mean, if you could go 2-1, I'm not even going to talk about 3-0. That'd be pretty incredible. But I think if you could find a way, particularly to win Friday, get that first one, keep this winning streak going, come back with a big crowd against Nevada. But I think 2-1 they would take right now, and that would be big.
I think 2-1 would be a win. If they get the one on Friday, they probably feel good about coming home and playing well at Extra Mile Arena. And then if you win both of those, it does. I would say this. It might take the edge off a little bit at New Mexico where –
yeah, you're playing with house money.
I think you consider it that. So maybe it takes the edge off and you go out and you play free and we have a Max Rice performance down in the pit or something like that,
Yeah. Yeah, well, I told you I have to be off no later than 9:45, and of course it's 9:50. We'll see how great the San Jose airport is. Luckily, I've got the pre-check. I've also got the clear. So luckily, you can cut the lines. Usually aren't too bad. I had my first experience yesterday, Jay, with the new Southwest Airlines assigned seating. They started the assigned seating yesterday on Southwest, and that was actually went a little smoother than I thought it would, but it's a little different now, having to get on a Southwest plane and look for your seat in your row. And I know Jay just flies with the team. You just go on the charter the whole time, so you don't have to worry about us, us guys that fly commercial anymore. But
well, you were always very particular about your
row 9. Yeah, it used to be my spot, row 9. So now I'm trying to find a new spot. Row 9 had a little crevice in the window where it was like a perfect spot where you could get your shoulder into the window. Also, conveniently was the first row where they served the beverages. That was always a nice perk as well. But now you got to find a different spot because they've redone the rows there. But we'll figure that out. The team flew charter last night. Another one of those steps that just show you where this program has evolved to. I mean, I even figured even with where they're at right now, they'd still just sleep in, get a good night's sleep here, and then take a commercial flight. Maybe my flight, whatever, Southwest Airlines over to San Jose tomorrow or today. But no, they flew right there, got to their hotel in Phoenix last night, and they wake up. I think they got to Phoenix, Jay, before Grand Canyon did. Playing at Nevada, so they're going to have
probably.
I think that they're in a good spot, and we'll see what happens with a big game on Friday night. Congrats, Jay, to your Seahawks. I know you're having just a 10-day continued binger here, whatever, getting ready for the Super Bowl Sunday, but congratulations. That's going to be a fun game. I'm not particularly a fan of either team, just being honest. But we'll pick a side. Probably the Seahawks will be my team for the gambling perspective. But we'll have a good time. Looking forward to it, and hopefully for all the Seattle Seahawks fans out there, they can win the Super Bowl. But I know there's nothing better, man, than your team being in a championship and just having a chance to win a championship. So hopefully you and Ball Game and everybody are kind of soaking this in.
Yeah, probably especially because I don't know. I didn't really even expect it this year, to be honest with you.
Those are the most fun ones. Cardinals, both of the Cardinals World Series wins in my lifetime were as the wild card. So, I mean, those are almost more fun. The Blues coming out of nowhere, the last place team to win the Stanley Cup. So, yeah, when Sam Darnold, I guess the NFL saw it coming, though, right? That controversy over that graphic where they had Darnold in May there leading all the players into the stadium.
I'll take it. Apparently you need to pay a little more attention to the graphic in the preseason next year.
Better believe next year that'll be my long shot to win the Super Bowl, whatever they have up in the front.
Panthers.
What do we got on today's Bronco Studios?
Today, Bronco Studios, we're going to be joined by, I'm still locking it down, a guest from the Boise State men's basketball team. So
sorry to put you on the spot there. Great show, great coverage coming.
No, it's good, yeah. We're going to be joined by a guest. They were just traveling last night, so we didn't get it confirmed, but either coach or player will join us. Also, Landon
They're going to fly all the way back to the studio just to join you.
They are, correct.
That's pretty impressive.
Yes.
Wow.
Amazing effort by those guys. Landon Helms does the decathlon here at Boise State, but over the weekend he set he broke the 33-year-old program record in the pole vault, so we'll hear from him.
Okay.
Gymnastics has a home meet this weekend or this Friday, so we're going to preview that by welcoming one of their gymnasts on. And then also Chris Vanini is going to join us. I don't know if you saw the news about somehow – it went overlooked that kind of the G6 standards changed when it comes to the college football playoff. And he had the article. So we reached out to him real quick, and he was kind enough to this morning.
Big J journalist coming on Bronco Studios.
Right.
I like it.
Kind of it might be our first one, to be honest with you.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's cool. Good. That'll be a good show. 4:00 today. You can watch live with Jay and company. That'll be on the Boise State Athletics YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to that and watch Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 4:00 Bronco Studios. And you can go back, and I mentioned great interview with Brennan Ramirez from Monday's show.
What a kid, by the way. Like, I know that you know the story as well as anybody, but awesome kid. Like, pull up BJ's story from last year. Pull up mine from Monday. I don't care what you do. Just pay attention.
Go watch that interview. That was a great interview. And
great dude.
That was cool. And how about Rylan Bergerson getting in 2 games in a row? Nobody would have thought that. But all right, I'm going to miss my flight if I don't have this talk forever. Jay, appreciate you. We'll be live in Phoenix for tomorrow morning show. Hopefully, folks are watching you guys on Bronco Studios. Happy birthday again to my wife, Karen. And appreciate everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Go read my story from last night's game. post-game show has Coach Rice and Pearson Carmichael interviews as well. So Bun Boum, enjoyed Jay chatting with him yesterday. First time I had a chance to chat with him. He was really great to chat with on the post-game show. You can watch that again as well. So thanks, Lithia Ford of Boise, from the Sun Cruiser Studios here in San Jose. My name is BJ Rains. He's Jay Tuss. Appreciate you guys for jumping on. Thanks again, Jay. And we'll talk to you guys from Phoenix tomorrow. Bronco Nation News online, bronconationnews.com.